Hi everyone, Aiden here with eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Saris MHS on the back of our 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe. Now the MHS is going to be a platform style bike rack. It holds the bikes in these long trays and by the tires. We have two wheel hoops for that dual wheel mount design, and it doesn't make any frame contact. That's going to make it good for carbon frame bikes, like you see right here, and be good for alternative frame bikes too. And with the heavy weight capacity, it's going to be able to handle most e-bikes. With this, you do have the ability to tilt away with the bikes loaded. There's a handle at the back end that you can pull to release it and lower it down. And I will say, on the Tahoe today, with our specific setup, it's very close. So I'll open this up. I'm actually going to flex out the bike just a little bit to give us ever so slightly more clearance with the handlebars, just because without that, it would make contact. Anything longer than what we have on our bike today would also make contact. So from the center to the outer edge of the handlebars, it's going to be 12¼ inches. If you've got anything 12 and over, I'd be cautious of that just because it is so close with the large hatch. But in some cases, it does clear and we can get access to the back of the vehicle without having to unload the bikes first. I'll get this closed down real quick, giving a little bit of pressure on that bike just to get it out of the way. And then we can lift it back up into place and it'll click back in. Now this does have integrated cable locks at the center of the bike rack right here. So it's really easy to just run it up through the frame and back to itself to secure the bikes. And I like that it's built in. Getting the bikes unloaded is pretty straightforward. We do have a wheel strap at the back tire as a secondary point of contact just to help keep it secure. So we'll undo that first. And then for the arms, we've got these gray handles that will squeeze and push the arms out. We'll do that on both sides. And I will say, if you squeeze it and let it go too far, it will just drop to the ground. So just watch out for that. And then we can lift the bike up and away. Now because those arms open up so wide though, it is very easy to load and unload because there's really nothing in your way. Those can go as wide as you need for the long wheelbase bikes, and there's nothing in the center to block your way. Those arms will push back down into place, and you can see that this back strap does slide along the length of the tray to accommodate for different wheelbases and secure them for larger or smaller bikes. Now some measurements to check out are going to be the ground clearance. To the lowest point at the back end, it's going to be right at 22½ inches, which isn't as much as some bike racks that we've tested on the Tahoe, but realistically, that's almost 2 feet. You're not going to have to worry about ground clearance with this, and you do have a good rise in the shank to accommodate for that. The distance added to the back, it is going to be sticking out 35¼ inch. A little bit more than some bike racks out there that we've tested, but not too bad overall. You can use that same handle that we used before to fold it upright, and that'll actually save you a lot of space if you want to leave this in the hitch between rides. Only sticking out 11 inches now, way more manageable for parking spaces or maybe even your garage, depending on the room you have. I will say that when it's folded, it's a very bulky bike rack. It'll completely block your backup camera and your license plate, and even a little bit of your taillights in some cases. So just be cautious of that when you are driving around with this, that it does take up a lot of room. Down at the hitch, it's working with our 2" by 2" receiver tube, and it comes with a locking anti-rattle bolt. That lock being key-like to the cable locks up top, so everything's under one system. And I do really like the MHS. It's a really solid bike rack, and it definitely holds the bike well. Personally, I think it's a little bit much just because it is so bulky and heavy, and it does block so much on the Tahoe. I would maybe consider looking into something like the Rocky Mounts guide rail. It's going to hold the bikes pretty much the exact same way, not as sturdy in the way that it holds the bikes, just because there is a little bit more wiggle room, but it's still solid, lots of metal construction, and has better clearance with the Tahoe overall, which I think makes it a better option. Thanks for watching.